What does it mean to be Latino or Hispanic to you?
The usual staple of a Latino household is like a strong bond in family, hardworking, self-made, and this idea that like you earn your food and your money by the sweat of your brow, not just like handed to you or anything like that, and always being super giving back to your community and your people, those who made you or helped you become who you are. We all have our different versions of like being Latino. Like, you know, Puerto Rican isn't the same as a Salvadorian, a Honduran is not the same as Guatemalteco, Mexicano is not the same as Brazilian or anything like that. Like, we're all completely different, right? But
What does it mean to be Latino or Hispanic to you?
I think it's a word. It's a helpful word to describe a certain experience. A very diverse lifestyle over here in the West that has a lot of rich history and roots. And again, it's just diverse with a lot of ugly and beautiful past behind it, not always recognized by Hispanic and Latinos nowadays, but you know, it's shown in our faces. You know, it's like something that you don't really have to say, it's just in your blood. I think that's what it is. That's what that means.
Okay. What does it mean to be Latino or Hispanic to you?
To be able to, like, obviously it doesn't apply to everyone, but like to be able to speak Spanish, because once you have that knowledge, it just feels great knowing another language. The food, the history, the food and the history is like what's really important.
What does being Latino or Hispanic mean to you?
Being Latino or Hispanic means just a lot of heritage and culture. It means being a family. It means that's what it means to me. A lot of culture around it.
What was it like growing up in a Hispanic and Latino community?
I grew up in a lot of different neighborhoods and in a lot of different environments growing up. I lived in like, I don't know, something like 10 different places, like from like the 5th or 6th grade or whatever. So it wasn't always a Latino environment, but it definitely was always like a minority environment. My household was super Latino, super Salvadoreño. There was always a pressure of like, we're struggling so you can have something. So like I always felt like I had to do something about that. But at the same time, there was like a constant fear, like that if we did anything or were involved in anything, as an illegal immigrant, something bad would happen to us. Like we couldn't be involved, we couldn't be better than the people around us, because then people would notice us, and we didn't want to be noticed. So I was encouraged to be very proud of being Salvadoreño and being a Latino and things like that. But like I was also told if somebody asked me where I'm from or where I was born, just to say another part of Texas. So it was always like a super confusing message. But yeah, I mean, I worked since I was like a little kid in a bunch of different things. to like earn my money to help around the house and stuff like that. But I think struggle makes the man. So I mean, I'm happy that they showed me how to work, that they showed me the importance of working for yourself and for others. Not only in the field of actual manual labor, although that's what I love, but working for a better life, getting a better education, figuring out how to be fiscally responsible, how to be emotionally attentive with other people and within yourself. I'm super grateful to be a Latino.
What was it like growing up in a Hispanic and Latino community?
It's interesting. It had a lot of out of the ordinary culturally influenced attitudes and personalities. And again, I can't emphasize enough the word diverse, especially in a community mixed with both first generation, second, third generation Hispanics or Latinos. Because just in that one gap of the first to the second generation, there's a huge difference in personality. It shifts greatly. So it was definitely interesting. It wasn't bad, and it wasn't the best. It was just, it is what it is. It's great and good. It's great and bad.
What was it like growing up in a Hispanic and Latino community?
Being the oldest, you have to set the example for others. Usually you go through the process of them learning how to feel emotional and being able to support their children. So they learn by working with you, and like at the end, like they end up being able to think back and reflect on it. And as like a Latino that wasn't from here, and throughout those years, like my father learned a lot. So yeah, that like.
What was it like growing in a somewhat Hispanic or Latino community and household?
It was, I don't know, it was like the same except for I would get talked to in Spanish, I guess. I would do the same things that other children would do, like go to school and, get good grades and play sports. And I don't know, it just meant that.
How do you, if you do at all, display your Latinidad on social media?
I'm not necessarily a very big social media type person. I don't like post a lot of my life. If I take videos or anything, I kind of just save them, and they're just there for me to watch someday, I guess. I definitely have like pictures of me at Salvadoreño soccer games wearing my shirt and my hat and face painted Salvadorian flag and all that, because I'm very proud to be a Salvadorian. I mean, post pictures of my room and stuff that has like banderas and camisetas and all that from El Salvador. But I don't really post much about me or my lifestyle. But I'll post things that I'm doing, and a lot of time it's like hanging out with Latino friends, fiestas, listening to cumbias and bachatas and stuff like that. But aside from that, I don't really like display myself on social media.
How do you, if you do, portray your Latinidad or Hispanic heritage online?
Online? I don't really, to be honest. And it's just me. I don't stand for this to be the way of being. It's just the way of my being. I don't really emphasize the, hey, I'm Latino, or hey, I'm Hispanic. I appreciate the culture and I appreciate everything about it. But it's not something I use to put the title as on when I carry myself through, online. Oh, it's coming right at us.
How do you, if you do at all, portray or show your Latinidad and your Hispanic heritage online?
I like to show how good the food is. I take pictures whenever I cook Hispanic meals because it's like a talent that you have that you're able to create. I like to listen to Hispanic music too. It's very upbeat and you can feel so many emotions through their music, whether it's like cumbias or bachata, like different types of Hispanic music it's amazing. And I like to listen to them and show it to the world, like, hey, this song I recommend because it's so good. Yeah, for me it's really just like a lot of the food. A lot of people tend to use sports as like a way of representing their country and like showing that not their country, their Spanish heritage. Well, country as well. With their sports. Yeah.
Right? It just it just meant that you are already part of a family, and that you've always got those people behind your back. That's what it just kind of means to me.
How do you, if you do at all, display your Latinidad online or on on media?
I don't really. But that doesn't mean like I'm ashamed of it. That just means I just don't think of myself in those kinds of ways, like on the internet, or like I don't think I need to like justify like being Latino. Like I just like people know or they don't know, and that's fine. So.
Okay. How do you feel and what do you think of the way Latinidad is expressed and displayed on social media and in pop culture?
I have my own quarrels with it because I was raised like religious and conservative and machismo and all that stuff that you think in like an old world household of Latinos, which some of it I believe in and some of it I don't, because some of it really is like demeaning to genders, which is like a heavy issue within our community that I think should be bettered. And at the same time, I still believe in that machismo and hardworking and self-made type of person. Like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get to doing what you need to do. So when I see things on social media downplaying a lot of that, I understand it and I see where it comes from and I understand why, and I support it sometimes, but I still firmly believe in picking yourself up by your bootstraps and making your way.
What are your feelings on the way that Latinos and Hispanics and Latinidad is portrayed online on the media?
I think a lot of people are confused. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to say I'm a victim of. I mean, it's something to embrace. You're Hispanic, you're a Latino or a Latina. That's who you are, and it becomes a very psychological thing once you become to realize that's just one of the many titles that is put on you, which they're important if you make them important. But if you really want to find that peace, I feel like you gotta learn to say it, like, even though that is my title, that is who I am, that those are my roots, it doesn't define me. So I feel like It needs to be, and you need to make peace with it. That's pretty much it. You just need to make peace with it and not make yourself a victim of how it is portrayed online. That we're just that like that's all we are. We're nothing but Hispanics and Latinos. That's not all that you are. You're a person with dignity, with meaning. You know.
How do you feel about the way Latino people and Hispanics are portrayed online on the media?
I always hear good and bad, that they're lawyers or that they're made like a lot of money, but then you hear some other Hispanics, that are portrayed as criminals because they're drug lords or just like government officials that corrupt those countries that have many native speakers, Hispanics.
How do you feel about the way Hispanics and Latinos are portrayed online and in media?
Sometimes by like certain kinds of people, they can be seen in like a negative aspect, and that's like very wrong. Like that shouldn't happen, because a lot of people of like Latino and Hispanic heritage, we all come from hardworking backgrounds. A lot of these people work super hard to be where they are today, and through like their dedication and their efforts, like they made it here to like a better place. And nobody should be like shamed for that. So but that's what I think about like what some people think about Hispanic and Latino heritage.